welcome to Beyond the Veil with Norman Meredith.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Norman coming with you again with another episode of Beyond the Veil. Tonight we're in Easley, South Carolina, and Ed's lurking in the background doing his producing and going to throw in some of his comments because he's been around as long as I have about the subject we're going to talk about tonight. You remember the first time you watched The Simpsons?
Yeah, I do. It was on the Tracy Ullman show, and it was probably in the late 80s.
I watched it when it was on Fox the first time, and I'd never seen it on the Tracy Ullman show.
Oh, yeah, they're almost all the same size, and they look a lot similar to what they are, but they're all like the same height.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of, slightly elongated, and Homer has a different voice. But Bart has always been, and Lisa has always been the same because that's that same female who does both of their voices.
Uh-huh.
So that's all I know.
Okay. That's more than I know. I know it's just a funny show that's sometimes can be a little creepy about things. You know that?
Scary accurate on
Very.
things. All the way from certain events happening to Madonna getting lifted up on the stage where she's got like shooting like fog out of her boobs, and it's like all sorts of stuff.
How many
It's
people
weird.
How many people out there know that on The Simpsons they seem to have predicted future events and then they come true?
Everybody should know that. There's no denying it.
I mean, it's a form of like, okay, if you go with the Matrix theory that we live in a matrix, that we're a computer program. Our lives are computer programmed. Everything around us is nothing but a computer program. We are a game for somebody else. That they're playing games by telling us the future through The Simpsons. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know,
We're real in our aspect of a mindset, but we're not real in a larger aspect, that we're line of code and somebody's just having fun by throwing the future in through The Simpsons to let us know what's going on.
Well, maybe it is a benevolent overlord who is telling us, what's going on just so we can react to it. Or maybe they're basing the future off the past Simpsons episodes because they know something that we don't. That could be it.
Anything is really possible nowadays. I mean, I don't know. I'm still waiting for the one with the UFOs to come true.
Well, yeah. There's two of them, right? The two aliens in the glass bubble.
Yeah, and then the one where he exposes the aliens on the steps of the Capitol.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm waiting for.
Yeah. Well, there are some aliens that I've seen on the steps of the Capitol, but
I don't think they're illegal.
That's
a whole different ball game.
Well, there's a subject for next week.
Yeah. All right. What we're going to do is I found a YouTube clip. Actually, not a clip. It's about 9 minutes long. And I'm going to go ahead and play this 9-minute clip of and I have the volume turned off, but showing you some of the things in between Ed and I. We'll throw some of our own feedback about some of the things that are being shown here that actually came true, or very close to hitting the nail on the head. I mean, it's just phenomenal how accurate these came to be. I mean, it's scary.
Oh, I agree. It's definitely some weirdness going on.
I mean, back in my day, if you wanted to know about the future, you went and bought the National Enquirer and looked up Jean Dixon.
Yeah. That was barely in my day, but it was.
I know. You were still in...
I was knee-high to a grasshopper
and
rolling through the grocery store with my mom, buying groceries at Jay's Super Thrift. Mm-hmm. But yeah. You want to check out the footage?
Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right, so let's see what we got here.
All right, here's one that came true. They predicted Donald Trump becoming president. But see, also the fact that he became twice. Not once, but twice. And in this, they also showed that Lisa came present. If Ditso had won, she would have been the female president, which would have been like Lisa, but that didn't happen. But we got Trump again, which is pretty cool. I thought that we got Trump again, and that this is one of the predictions I seen, and it's like, cool. But he won twice. Now, did you know 20th Century Fox was bought out by Walt Disney? That was another thing that was brought up in The Simpsons. That they were going to buy Fox, that it was going to be a subsidiary of Walt Disney. I never knew that. Here's another one. Lady Gaga's performance. They had it in a thing where she's flying over the crowds.
Yeah, that's what it was. Lady Gaga.
Sparklers coming out of her boobs.
I think I said Madonna.
Well, whatever. And then what happens? It shows up in a Super Bowl show. She's doing the same thing, except she doesn't have sparklers coming out of her boobs.
I was going to say, did you see his calculator that was on there?
Yeah. I remember doing stuff like that with pagers. When we had pagers back at work, I'd send messages to my coworkers.
NSA scandal. Someone's listening.
Yeah, where everybody's always listening. And that's true fact. They've been listening to your cell phones, normal telephone calls. And when email is starting to come out, they're intercepting emails. There was one about Richard Snowden, where they talked about the guy that was going to come forward and expose all this. They brought that forward in their show. And the soccer corruption, that was brought forward on The Simpsons, which was surprisingly. I mean, there is so much brought up by The Simpsons that it's just it's mind-blowing. Like here, Homer's is a soccer ref, and he's talking about the different...
Right there's a quintessential. I'm sorry, I'm eating a piece of something over here. But this is a quintessential one right here, the three-eyed fish. Blinky. There you go. Three-eyed fish. It's nuts.
I never heard about that one. But I did hear about one where there was an episode of The Simpsons where these guys were taking weasels in The Simpsons and putting cotton balls on them to make them look like poodles. Mm-hmm. Well, a guy in Argentina again, okay, he was putting steroids into the weasels in Argentina and buffing them up to make them look like poodles. And you sell them for poodles at $150 a pop.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, that's America if I've ever heard of it, right?
Yeah, he was doing American Dream down there in Argentina.
Well, hey, good for him. There's a lot of other things that have happened in Argentina as well.
But yeah, they never mentioned that on The Simpsons, though.
They ought.
I don't think they did.
Then maybe it wasn't real.
Don't know. Can't
Simpsons
say.
got the truth in it.
That they do. I mean, I found two different articles. One article had about 21 times that they hit the future. Another one had 74 different times they hit the future. I mean, there's just the probability is it's just off the scale.
You saw the legal weed in Canada right here. Here's a portion of it. Yeah, Flanders with a joint. That's funny.
Can you imagine Flanders smoking a joint?
I don't know. I seen him. He takes his shirt off and he's like ripped, like he's so buff. It's crazy.
Now, Homer, I can imagine doing the
Barack in 2008 voting machine manipulation with John Kane.
Yep. I remember talking about that, how it happened. That they wouldn't take, he's trying to vote for McCain. He can't. And then he gets sucked up into the machine. But, I remember, everybody talking about that. The Winter Olympics is another one.
So what happened in the Winter Olympics?
We'd never won curling before until this one time in 2020. The United States actually won gold in the curling match.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. The United States had never won a curling match or the curling games in the Olympics. That's usually a Canadian or a Scandinavian company that would win, but the United States has never had an opportunity to win, but this is the first time in the 2020.
What happened with the Subway sandwich bread?
I'm not sure about that one.
Is it nasty?
It looks that way. I don't know about that.
Or is it like the length because it's a foot long?
Maybe.
Nobel Prize. Who wins the prize?
Let's see. I don't remember about that one. Jagadishi Bhagwati?
Mm-hmm. And he won it? They're at MIT. Maybe that's him. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a fella. I'm not sure who it was for that one. Some of these names that they're using look like...
There you go. Like he tells the future. It's just horse meat scandal. Oh,
I've heard of that one about
no more testicles. Now more
testicles. Now, I've heard about horse meat being used in a lot of sausage meat and hamburgers.
I mean,
As a form of steak back
I'm not
in the 70s.
opposed to it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, back in the 70s, there was a big thing about it being used as hamburger meat, especially. Okay. What's this one about? Simpsons in 25, I guess it's about the future, about space travel. Oh, there was one that with the Simpsons I like, talking about flying cars. Did you know that President Trump signed a bill setting it up where making flying cars more easier to come about? He just signed a bill recently.
Oh, that's an old one right there.
So we will be seeing more we'll see the possibility of flying cars. He made it easier for the fact that flying cars could come out. Which is pretty awesome, I think.
3D printed food.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've seen it. 3D printed in Japan.
Yeah.
They 3D print.
I don't know if I want to try
steaks and all that kind of crap.
I just don't know about that. I like my steak.
There it is.
I like my steak from the cow.
But I think what they were making from in Japan was human waste.
I thought it was soybean.
They're also making it from human waste. I mean, the thing is, it's like, I gotta stop the presses here for a second.
Yeah.
Baby translator.
Yeah, that one came true. There's a baby translator out there.
So, I got a question for
I got an answer
all those
ready.
people that's out there. When you want the vegan version of something, like a vegan steak or a vegan chicken wing or a vegan pork chop,
It's all soy.
why do you want it to look like it?
So you can fake.
Wouldn't you want it to look like a plant and not a butchered, chopped up, bloody animal? But you make it look like that, and you hate the thought or sight of it, but you're making it exactly the
So
same.
when your friends come over,
I'm telling
they
you,
think they're getting the real thing.
veganism is a mental disorder. That's what I think. That's me. That's my opinion.
I can't understand the whole theory behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just don't understand why, myself personally, about why someone want to be a vegan.
Well, I mean,
You know, it's harmful to your body.
and protein.
You need the
you
actual
get it
meat
from
protein.
beans, and it's like, yeah, you can, but some people can have the lectins in beans as well. Plus, you're just farting up a storm all day. So
Yeah, you need the actual proteins from a meat.
Mm-hmm.
If you only eat red meat once a week, that's fine. But you do need that because there's the other things you need in it from that meat to be part of your body.
I would agree.
It helps with red corpuscle production.
Don't know anything about that.
I do. It's one of those things you learn as an EMT and a medic. Red meat wine helps with the corpuscle.
Let's check out the. I'm not trying to cut you off.
That's
but
fine.
let's check out the
Baby translator.
baby translator because
There's an
I'm like,
actual one out there.
is that weird?
No, they actually created a device that can translate babies' oohs and ahs and coos and stuff. This come out about a year ago. I read about it and I'm like, really? You can go all this length to get a baby translator?
You know what's crazy? That looks like that Tesla robot.
Yeah.
Really?
And now with Tesla robots, you got them coming out. And then, you've seen...
VR. Nice. Boop. Going.
But I don't think you need to be wearing them all the time like that in that type of scenario.
That's just really
Too much.
scary. It's got to be a lame life.
Mm-hmm. And then doing the artificial food like thing that they're doing with it too? No. There are VR restaurants where they feed you something similar to like printed food while you're doing the VR. And then there's like flavoring in it to make you think you're eating a steak or something.
Fake Simpsons predictions. Nice.
Now I've heard about there's been some people that have put out some fake stuff.
Did these come out after it? Or these are like fake, like they're faking them
Yeah.
themselves. Trump on escalator, that was not fake. That one was legit.
Yeah.
So there's Melania going down the piece.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to show it?
No, I guess not.
I don't know.
Oh, I guess Simpson going down the elevator with Trump?
Huge. Bridge collapse in Baltimore, huh?
That was a fake.
Oh, all right.
See, they're showing these as fake. These are the fakes.
Yeah. I remember seeing that one. That's crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm. That some of these were fakes that they came afterwards saying, oh, yeah, see, this was predicted by the Simpsons. It never happened. The Notre Dame fire is another one of these that was faked by people trying to raise a buck or two by throwing it out there.
Well, it's the American way, you know?
And if you look at the artwork, you can tell there's a difference in the Simpsons artwork and what was being used in these fakes. But I don't know. I'm flabbergasted. I'm just still like dumbfounded how the prediction rate is so high as to be accurate. Excuse me. You know, that's the biggest thing that's got me is how they're being so accurate.
Here are some other ones. Sort of similar to what we saw, but a little bit different. That's what's
Hawkins.
his name? Yeah, Stephen Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. That ain't good.
I'm not sure about which one that was supposed to be. That's where Wishwatch smartphones.
Yeah, that's the guy
Branson
from
in space.
Yeah.
You know, there was different ones that they come up with. It's just interesting. But let's talk about some future projects and see where we can go.
All right.
I think enough about The Simpsons just to dabble it. You know, I got some shows to come. Now I got to come up with some ideas. Always got to come up with ideas. Any ideas from y'all folks? Or should I go through some files, find out some things on Bigfoot, some other cryptids, maybe find some ghost stories or something? Tell me what you think I should find and what I should bring out to share with y'all. Because I want to keep y'all entertained, plus maybe find something new that y'all might learn. And if you got any thoughts or suggestions, please drop them by and let us know. Drop me an IM, drop a thing on the Facebook page, and I'll see what we can do for y'all. You know, requests from y'all are greatly appreciated. And Ed and I greatly appreciate it, so that way we can see what we're going to do to continue going forward with this show and provide something that y'all might like. And I'll see if I can't get my favorite friend to come back out here, Mr. Nighthawk. And if I ever talk more about UFOs and aliens, I'll see if I can grab Craig Martell again. Right now he's running around the world on Life of a Retiree. What can you say? So if he's free, I'll see if I can get him back on here. Maybe we can talk aliens with him again. That was a pretty good show. We talked about science fiction becoming science reality. And see if I can find some other subjects that we can talk about. And we'll go from there, okay, folks? Well, we're going to sign off now from Easley, South Carolina. And this is Norman and Ed. And we want to wish y'all a safe and happy 4th of July. Please be safe. Watch your alcohol intake. And alcohol and fireworks don't always go well. And be safe. That's all I can ask y'all, okay? Happy 4th, folks.